you guys have school tomorrow? Wait, do you guys have school? No? Then why wake up so early? Oh man. If you go to a Chinese school like I do, you have school 6 days a week. Going to my high school is like the worst time of my life, and I'm glad it's over. I fucking hated it. The environment is so bad as well. This high school that I went into, I didn't go into it of my own choice. My parents forced me into it, and the whole school is just Chinese. But when I was primary school, which is 7 to 12 years old, for the majority of the time I'm English speaking. So once I go into secondary school, which is 13 to 18, I guess I left at 17. You can leave early to go for foundation year. When I got into the school, no one there even knows how to speak in English. I feel like an alien. I don't even know how to talk to them. So I'm basically in this alien world. Everyone is going, oh, ching chong ping pong. It's okay, I'm Chinese. Don't ban me, Twitch. And then I'm just over there like, what are you guys even saying? I don't even know what masturbating is called in Chinese. Like, what are you even saying? Like, my Chinese is not bad and I use Chinese with my parents, but you know, what you say with your friends and what you say with your parents is completely different, right? You don't say like the most vile shit with your parents. So I don't know any of the swear words, anything disgusting. I don't know whatever trends, whatever memes that they might be trending in the Chinese internet space. So I'm just super alienated, and not just that, like the education system in that school is just fucking horrible as well. For the junior year, which is the first 3 years, and the senior year, which is the last 3 years, it's horrible. Like most of the subjects in the first 3 years is in Chinese, and then all of a sudden afterwards when you shift to senior year, it's all English all of a sudden. So whatever terms that you learn in science, maths or whatever, oh wow, now you need to translate it, and now you need to remember, oh, this is called that in English, oh, this is called that in English. Like I fucking hate that shit, man. I hated going to my high school. It's like the worst time of my life, and the only reason why they keep it in Chinese is because it's a Chinese school, guys. It's a Chinese. We need to keep our culture. And then when they switch over to senior year, they have to switch it over to English because the government exam is in English, so they have no choice. So what is the first 3 years even for then? Why did I learn everything in Chinese? And then afterwards, during the 6th year, which thank God I left, there's this huge exam they need to take. For me, it's basically the same level as foundation year. That's what you take when you're 18. And for that one, it's all Chinese again. And that's the reason why they teach things sometimes in Chinese, sometimes in English. And every time when they teach in Chinese, the syllabus is always way harder, and just way harder for no reason. Sun is Taiyang, Samuel is, I don't know. I don't know Chinese. See, this is one of the problems. See, this is why my school fucking sucks, okay? You learn history in Chinese, and you need to learn historical characters that is from Europe or maybe America, and then you need to know the Chinese names for it. Like what? Like for Winston Churchill, I need to remember Qiu Qi. Like what the fuck is Qiu Qi? What are you even saying? What's worse is they don't accept English answers. Like what? They don't accept English answers even though that is the original name. Like Napoleon, I need to remember Napoleon. Like what? What is that? Is that a weapon? Is that napalm? What is that? Like I fucking hate that shit. That's why I hated my high school so much. And then I would just get shit grades, and then everyone would just complain like oh man, look at the English look at the English subjects. Oh, by the way, the English is so easy compared to the Chinese, man. Like it's not even fair. And then all of the students would just complain, oh man, English is so hard. Man, look at how easy Chinese is. Bro, you can fuck off. You can directly compare it equally, and then you can see it that when you look at the Chinese paper and an English paper, for Chinese, if you know how to speak Chinese and you know how to write Chinese, you know how to read Chinese, you're gonna get like 30 marks out of 100, because there's shit you need to memorize. You need to memorize literature, you need to memorize authors, you need to learn classic Chinese, you need to learn how to translate that, and there's barely any MCQs multiple choice questions, everything is subjective. And then for English, the paper 1 is just 50 objective questions, and then paper 2 is just 3 essays. Like, what? How is this even fair? What? And for English, as soon as you know how to read, how to speak in English, you are guaranteed to get an A on English. That's how easy it is. For my whole... Shut up, Darkus. For my whole like time in my school, out of like maybe 50 English papers I've took, I think I got 80 marks on 45 of them. That's how easy it is, and I never studied, I never paid attention in class. At most, I might have done some homework because I don't want to get into trouble. It's not even fair, and I'm just over here with my shitty Chinese, not able to speak in Chinese. And then since I don't get to use English in that school, since everyone is speaking in Chinese, my English became shit. And that's why I'm streaming right now, because I want to, you know, get my English back. I want to get my English speaking skills back. And then when you talk about passing, there's this piece of shit strategy they do. So in this school, the passing score is 60 marks, right? To give a bit of context, in the entirety of Malaysia, the passing score is 40 out of 100. If you get 40 marks out of 100, you pass. So over here for most schools, if you fail, even if you get horrible averages, it's fine. You get no punishment. You just have shit grades, and then when the government exam starts, then you'll get horrible grades, and then maybe that's when you will get your punishment, right? So for us, our passing grade is 60 instead of 40, which is a huge difference. And then they do this piece of shit tactic where they scare all of the students. They'll just say, oh, if you don't get 60 marks, you're gonna... Because if you fail the test, if you get a fail mark on your average, you will need to stay back a year. You will need to redo the whole year. So every student is super scared of that, and they'll just scare all of the students and say, oh, if you get less than 60 marks, it's over. You're gonna have to redo the whole year. And then they will just say like, oh, this year you guys have to work hard, or else you're gonna fail, because a lot of people stayed back a year at this year in particular because they're not used to the school or used to the syllabus or something. And then the thing is, even though the passing score is 60, you're still gonna move on to the next year even though you have 40 or something. And the main reason is because everyone's grade is so shit, and if they actually keep the medium, the threshold to 60, I feel like at least 25% of the school is gonna have to redo the year. And I feel like that's just too embarrassing for them, so they have to lower it down. They have to make some sort of average that will be the actual, like an actual more fair threshold, that way everyone won't fail the year or something. And it's so fucking bad, and that just gives all of the students so much more stress. It will just let all of the students don't know like how much marks do you actually need to actually move on to the next year. You never know. They say it's 60, but I've heard a lot of people that passes even though they get 40, and then there will just be a bunch of students that get really scared and they get really paranoid, and they want to, you know, get amazing grades so they won't stay back a year, and they'll just study like hell, and they basically have no personality whatsoever. I just hate that shit, and that's why I also don't like a lot of the people in this school as well. They are just people that just, all they know is studying. They have no personality whatsoever. They have no interesting hobbies, nothing to learn about them. They're super boring people to talk to, because all they care about is studying and not stay back a year. And that's why, even though yes, I'm lazy and I don't study, I prefer staying on like the last few classes, because all of the classes are ranked by your grades, and I prefer staying on the last maybe couple classes where everyone is just really relaxed, really laid back. They don't study, because people in those classes, those are the people with personalities. Yeah, at least they don't get into drugs and alcohol, but I feel like in Asia in general, people are just more uptight, and we just don't get into drugs, alcohol, or sex or anything like that to begin with, so we don't really need this kind of system to do that. And then when you get into the last few classes, the classes filled with, you know, what they will call failures, people become way more interesting, because there are people like me. Yeah, in Asians, yeah, in Asia, I'm pretty sure the average age that people lose their virginity is like twice as high as America or something. And then, because wait, where was I? Where was I? It's not 14 over here. I can guarantee you. I'm pretty sure over here it's like 20 or some shit. Wait, where was I? Oh shit. Where was I? Oh fuck, where am I going with this again? Yeah, that's what's happening to me right now. Anyways, okay, so when you get into like the later classes, the classes full of people with shit grades, those are the people with personality, because they can see that there's way more to life than just studying. They actually have hobbies, they actually have interests, I actually have things to talk about, you know, like I actually have things to learn about them rather than, oh wow, how do you do this maths equation, how do you do integration, how do you do whatever the fuck I happen to be learning. Like, it's just way more fun to be, you know, in the later classes, because these people are actually interesting people, not just people that just study all day. And then and the way you know this is, you can see it during exam time. Between papers there will be break times, and the way you know these, like what classes these people are in, and just their personality and everything, is just see what they do during the break times. Because normally during exam times, most teachers are not in class. And by the way, you're not allowed to use your phone at school. So okay, the phones are confiscated. If you use phone at school, you need to put your phones into a locker before the class starts. But during the exams, you don't need to do that, and most teachers are not at school because they don't need to teach. Only the invigilators are there. During the break time, when you look around, there will be people that are studying for the exam, and then there will be people that are just playing games on their phone or watching shit. And those are the people that, yes, these people are interesting. Finally, there are people that, you know, that are into things that is not just studying. It's so refreshing. And what's even better, it's just a couple of months ago, I just finished SPM, which is like the huge exam that you need to take when you're 17, so that you can go for foundation year or maybe diploma. I think it's O level for this one. I think that's the equivalent. Just basically, it's what you take when you're 17. It's a really big government exam. And then in between papers, sometimes there will be like a 4-hour break. And then you can just see what people are doing. Some people studied for the majority of the time. Me and my friend, we are just watching a movie in between papers of a government exam. We're just we're just watching movies. And then there are a couple of movies I watched. I remember the first time I watched was Whiplash, which is an amazing movie. I was surprised with how good it is. And then afterwards, I think, I watched RRR, which is a really popular Bollywood film. That is a 3-hour film. I watched the entirety of it, just sitting in the cafeteria watching it with my friend. It was so nice. Yeah, I got some balls, and there are no teachers there anyways. For SPM and for the government exam in particular, our own teachers are not allowed to be in school because they don't want any cheating things to happen. So they bring in, so the schools swap teachers, so there are teachers from other schools, and they can't give a shit, man. They're not paid enough to give a shit whether we're using phones or whatever during like break times. Who cares? So teachers just switch schools so that, you know, teachers and students, they can't cheat because they already know each other. So the teachers are all teachers that you don't know, you have never talked to before. So no one gives a shit. So in between this government exam that is really important, like even in the future when you're looking for jobs, like the interviewer is going to need that. The interviewers is going to need the grades for this government exam, and I'm just sitting there watching a 3-hour movie with my friend in between papers instead of studying.